Biden and Trump among black voters compare where we were at this point in 2020, compare where we are now.
If you watch CNN, what they're doing is fetishizing and getting extremely excited about demographics. Try to imagine, if you will, the philosopher's friend, the extraterrestrial observer, and what they might think of a legacy media piece that fixates, as this does, on black voters. Like, that's a demographic that warrants scrutiny. Like, why are we not looking at bald voters, or voters with broad shoulders, or voters that bought a vase last Wednesday? How long will we continue to double down on division and divisiveness instead of recognizing the evident and obvious truth that when it comes to what's truly happening in politics now, there's a lot more that unites us than divides us? But CNN won't be paying any attention to that. Also, the guy that's presenting these statistics is really, really excited about the numbers. Bear in mind that he must have prepared these numbers. Look how excited he is.
CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton is with us. So where does the race stand among African-American voters right now?
Yeah, I keep looking for this to change, to go back to a historical norm. And it's simply put,
this is historical. Go back to a historical norm. I think it's odd that this is a category that's being looked at. It makes me wonder what the lens is, what the critique is, what the analytic is for American politics when they're so happy to carve people up. This is what women, this is disabled people. This is people that have been to China, didn't like it there. This is people that looked out of the window last Wednesday for an hour or two before deciding that it might rain after all, I might stay indoors. What are all these various tactics of division? Now, I'm not naive to America's very particular history when it comes to genocide and slavery. Sadly, issues that continue to dominate, if not the news these days, then certainly the way that power is deployed. What's extraordinary, most of all, other than the fact that these categories continue to exist in 2024 when we should have transcended them, when we could yet transcend them, is how excited and how increasingly excited this dude, Harry I think he's called, becomes when looking at numbers that he must have seen earlier when he typed them out.
Has not yet. So this is the margin, or Biden and Trump among black voters compare where we were at this point in 2020, compare where we are now. You know, at this point, look at this. In 2020, Joe Biden was getting 86% of the African-American vote. Look at where it is now. It's 70%. That's a 16-point drop, John.
John, that's 16 percentile.
And more than that, it's not just that Joe Biden is losing ground, it's that Donald Trump is gaining ground. You go from 7%, single digits at this point in 2020.
7 is a single digit. There's no digit next to it. There's something next to it, but that's literally the percentage sign itself. A diagonal line with two wonky boobies next to each other. Those 70, they've moved down there to that red number. I can write on the screen in green finger magic.
To now 21%. And again, John, I keep looking for signs that this is going to go back to normal, and I don't see it.
When's it going to go back to normal? Maybe never.
Yet in the polling, if anything, right now we're careening towards a historic performance for a Republican presidential candidate, the likes of which we have not seen in 6 decades. Look at black voters under the age of 50.
So weird, isn't it? Look at black voters. There they are. They're under the age of 50. They're moving around. I'm trying to track them down with my green pen. I can't. These black voters under the age of 50, they're like lightning.
Holy cow, folks. Holy cow. Look at this. Joe Biden was up by 80 points among this group back at this point in 2020. Look at where that margin has careened down towards.
It's careening. It's careening.
It's now just, get this, 37 points. That lead has dropped by more than half, Mr. Berman. Home. I just never seen anything like this.
I can't believe that. This is how excited he is by this demographic information and by these subtly shifting statistics. God knows what he must make of his own genitalia. Have you seen these guys down here? There's these two guys live in a little sack, and this one connected to them, but somehow separate. And when I move it about, look at that! It produces effluvia. It's spraying around. I'm generating it. The sweet white ink of life. That's not playing well with the black voters. Let me tell you that. They don't like it. Here's a green line of black voters. They're leaving me, look. They're migrating away. They're not watching legacy media because I'm being patronizing and subtly racist with my entire presentation, even though that's not my intention. Oh, it's happening again.
I'm like speechless because you always look at history and you go, okay, this is a historic moment. If this polling is anywhere near correct, we are looking at a historic moment right now where black voters under the age of 50, which have historically been such a big part of the Democratic coalition, are leaving it in droves.
That is a huge drop over a 4-year period, at least right now.
If we add Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to this,
Which we won't do because Robert F. Kennedy is not allowed to participate in these votes. He's got his own color. It's purple.
look at where Joe Biden drops to. Less than half the vote among black voters, less than half the vote among black voters in the battleground states. Donald Trump drops as well to 14%, so not quite nearly as historic. But look at this, RFK with 11%. You basically have a legitimate sort of three-way race here.
We have three-way races, but two-way debates.
Yeah, Joe Biden well ahead, but with less than 50% of the vote. John, I never thought I would see something like this among black voters.
Never. I never thought black voters would behave as if their skin color was not the only thing that defined them, that they might have a variety of characteristics and desires and requirements, and that there might be more complexity to humanity than race and culture, and that ultimately all of the imposition of these various categories is an attempt to divide us. Not that I'm suggesting that this adorable man is actually responsible for all this, but as he is a current member of CNN, Legacy Media HQ, if he ain't willing to convey their purview, you know what happens. He's out the door. And the fact is, CNN are an amplifier of the agenda of the powerful. They don't want you watching Tucker Carlson, so they'll say whatever they have to say about Tucker Carlson. He's racist. There must be some word somewhere. There must be some event at some time that we can use to stop people going to see Tucker Carlson live, especially with Russell Brand in Phoenix. I think that's in early September. And Alex Jones. Look at the tools and analytics and critiques deployed by the legacy media when it comes to condemning independent voices, which remain very popular, whether they're of the right or the left or emerging out of new categories. Look at this. Independent media is migrating. I've got my green pen over here. Look at this. This is podcasters that don't like the establishment. Their figures are on the rise. Oh my God. Look at my trouser mouse. It's electrified. My trouser mouse has been sick on its bib. I don't know what to do about it, mama. Hey, this is exciting. We've got a great partner today. It's Rumble. But beyond Rumble, it's Rumble's latest venture. Let me ask you first, are you a Sleepy Joe type character with zero cognitive performance, struggling to muster focus and brain power for basic things like running the United States of America? You've got to stop drinking woke liberal coffee that hates you and your way of life and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. This is going to be the best tasting coffee you've ever had. Seriously good, ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountains of Bolivia. Not in the Bolivian lowlands run not by a family but by a single man still living with a pet. No! Instead of waking up and drinking your big corporation owned woke ideology coffee that's probably making you sick from the pesticides it's sprayed with, try Rumble's 1775 revolutionary coffee. Support freedom of speech. Build a parallel economy that actually values you and loves you. My favourite? It's dark, of course. I've always found the lure of the dark irresistible. I'm sorry, how can I stay mad at you? But you're just going to have to wait over there for a little while. Level up your morning routine with a 1775 coffee. Sleep all night knowing your hard-earned dollary dues are going towards supporting freedom-loving creators like me on Rumble. Visit 1775coffee.com now, pick up your first bag, use the code BRAND to save 10% on your first order. Oh, come on. Why choose, you know?
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.